The Rink Report podcast is brought to you by BetStamp, the ultimate sports betting companion app. Track, follow, and analyze your bets across multiple sports books. And while you're there, check out the world's first verified buy and sell marketplace for sports betting picks. Download the app today. The Rink Report podcast is also brought to you by Season 2 of The Law Garage. Host Marco Shara, a Toronto criminal defense lawyer, interviews various criminal lawyers about the practice of criminal defense, gets them to share their war stories, and helpful tips for up-and-coming lawyers interested in the area of law. Out now on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. Step into the garage, listen to the experts, and get a tune-up.
All right, we're recording?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Welcome, everyone, to the Rink Rat Report podcast. It is a trade deadline special. We are an hour and 9 minutes exactly past the trade deadline, the 3 p.m. March 21st deadline. So we are probably going to have some more transactions trickle in. We're going to have to keep an eye on our phone throughout this one. But the deadline has come and passed. It looks like the Leafs are just making the one, or actually two. One big move and one small move for future considerations there. As always, joined by Josh and Jason.
What's up? What a deadline. Honestly, more excited than I expected.
Yeah.
There was a lot of trades made before, but even today, right down to the wire, there was like 3 or 4 decently sized moves. Yeah. Not a lot of first-round picks being traded. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of guys with big cap hits being traded. I think that was a big effect on this deadline for guys like Chychrun or Garland. Like those guys, I think will get traded this summer. But I don't think a lot of teams had the cap space to add guys that made over $4 million for term. That's why the Leafs were able to make a trade on a retained player that's done after this year. But we'll get into that right away.
Yeah, the term part I feel like is the biggest part of that. I mean,
because
those
look teams,
at the guys that were moved, like Giroux, Sherratt, Giordano, Blackwell, Colin Blackwell, like those guys are all
Andrew Copp, Lindholm, even though they signed him. Like the problem is, again, these I'm sure the Leafs sniffed around on Connor Garland. They probably sniffed around on Chychrun a little bit. I'm sure Boston did. I'm sure Tampa did. But the problem is, Arizona's not going to retain on Chychrun. Mm-hmm. That's stupid. Mm-hmm. Vancouver's not going to retain on Garland. That's stupid. But nobody can afford Garland unless the contract's retained. So if people are wondering why some of those names weren't moved today, that would be why. But we had a lot of moves come through, especially for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes, we did. So shall we get into, we're going to get into some Leafs trades. We're going to get into some Atlantic Division trades because that's obviously impacts the Leafs greatly. These are all Atlantic Division trades. A little bit of around the league here and there because there were some interesting moves made. But let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? So the major move obviously being Asia to Nashville for future considerations.
That future considerations look great in the AHL this year. They're fantastic.
I hate that joke now. It's so overplayed. The first time I heard it, I was going wild, but now it's just like, okay, I've had enough. But let's get into it. Giordano and Colin Blackwell for 2 seconds and a third. Mark Giordano being double retained. Is that
just once retained?
Once retained.
Or sorry, single retained with 50%.
50%. Yeah.
What? Some thoughts on that?
I love it. I love the fact that we were able to get Giordano for without giving a first of all, and then I love the fact that we got Colin Blackwell as well because I don't know. I have never really seen a lot of him. I've only watched the highlight kind of package that you posted. But he seems like a good player. Looking at his player cards, he seems like he's a strong defensive forward. It kind of fits with what our bottom 6 players are. He seems like he's one of those types where he's just strong, tight defensively. I remember he scored on us. Scored a great shorthanded goal with Yanni Gourde against us. I think it was a couple of games ago. But
goal and an assist.
Yeah, I love this trade. Like we've been manifesting Mark Giordano on this podcast for 6 weeks now, I think.
Funny how I declined it a week ago.
I tried to save you. I tried my best.
I called the guy today, and he was like, "Oh, Gio wanted to come last year. It's been a dream of his, kind of
100%.
thing." And then, but that text I received earlier,
it sounded like maybe he just didn't want to get his hopes up in case they.
Or it sounded like maybe Kyle Dubas was holding out until he didn't have to trade a first-round pick, which is again, same with the Giroux trade. We'll get into later. It seems like if Mark Giordano at the end of the day really said, I want to go to Toronto. It sounded like the other team he wanted to go to was Calgary, but Calgary couldn't make the cap situation work. So it kind of ended up just being Toronto. And then at that point, you can flex your muscle a little more.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, why a first-round pick wasn't included in this trade.
And
but
Colin Blackwell.
On top of that, I don't think a first-round pick should have been included in this trade.
I agree.
No.
I think people are looking at other trades like the Ben Sherrod trade. I think that was an overpay.
Yeah.
And then also they're looking at Lindholm. Lindholm's 28 and he came with an 8-year extension. Don't trick yourself that trade was made and then they made the extension. Those were done together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're trading for 9 years of Hampus Lindholm. So that's why there was a first-round pick in that deal, right?
And Urho Vakanainen, who you said, remember a few episodes ago, you're like, Vakanainen's playing first pairing right now.
With Charlie McAvoy. And then what happened?
He got traded to Anaheim.
Yeah.
That's
so
funny.
So yeah, but to the trade, it's a great trade. I see a lot of talk about, Mark Giordano's older. He is older. He's one of the older players in the NHL. A couple things. One, we know with the benefit of our insider Joe, he is in great shape. He keeps in great shape. He's a grinder. He's a hard worker. I'm not worried about his body breaking down or anything like that. Knock on wood, obviously.
It's half a season, too.
Well, I'm just saying, as we go into the playoffs, he's an older guy. I think some people have worry about that, especially if he plays top four, and I want him to play top four. I want him to play with TJ Brody, or I want him to play with Jake Muzzin. I don't know, one of those guys, because I think he's got a lot to give. When this was first brought up, I remember a lot of people saying, well, Seattle's not good defensively, and Giordano's on that team. And no. They are
minus 21.
They are good defensively. Their goalies are terrible.
Yeah.
So...
And we got to see firsthand how good Philip Grubauer is. And by good, I mean not good.
At least would have lost that game with like an average goalie.
Yeah, for sure.
So you got to be really excited if you're a Leafs fan. One thing that was said by all three of us, what did we say about the one player we want to get at the deadline? The impact player. What did we want?
We didn't want to be able to debate if they were good or not. And I think with Giordano, that's there. I don't think
the only debate is he's older.
Yeah.
That's it.
But he's still a good
and
player. He's only
but
what is he? 3 years off of a Norris? He's still
the real only thing that has maybe declined for him is his ability to join the rush and play a part in the offense. But we don't need him.
He scored a couple goals this year off the rush.
But Joe, we don't need him to do that at all.
Yeah,
we don't. We need him to play strong in our own zone. We need him to break the puck out properly, and we need him to defend the blue line when those chances come, and defend the front of the net, which he can do all of those things. He may not be an expert in any of those areas specifically, but he can do a good job at every single one of those things I mentioned.
Yeah. He's getting PDO bombed right now. 967.
Wow.
30.87 expected goals against, 43 actual.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean, it was Megan Chaika came out and had some very positive things to say about him and the analytics that he brings, analytically what he is as a player. And I'm not talking about just summary cards kind of thing of it, actual specifics of what he does well. And it's a lot of what the Leafs are kind of missing in their decor there. I mean, especially if you watch that Nashville game, a guy like Giordano in that game really will help to shore you up. I'm curious to see if he gets power play time. He has been, no?
Where? Second power play? Maybe.
Power play.
Maybe
because
with Sandino.
There's been an
injury. You're right. I think they should try to limit his minutes. In terms of, I think he'll probably
regular season, yes.
I think he'll play shorthanded. So, do you want him playing the power? I'd rather him playing shorthanded minutes.
I'd rather power play.
No, I'd rather shorthanded.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't want him blocking shots.
I think he's better shorthanded than power play at this point.
Probably, but
that's why.
I'm just thinking of preservation wise.
But we need him for shorthanded. He's a good shorthanded defenseman.
I know. That's a tough one.
Then you have Muzzin, Brody, Giordano, and Lyubushkin playing your shorthanded minutes. That's no easy feat for any
power play.
Opposing power play there.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. That is true. In terms of our defense, our main defensemen that are going to be in the playoffs, though, I really like how he does bring some offense. A lot of point shots that get through. I like that. His ability to move on the point I found as well. Not only get shots through, but also dish the puck to the wings there. Saw a bunch of goals between him and Jared McCann, which I really like to see. When you look at our defensemen in terms of offensive production, there's Morgan Riley, and then it kind of falls off a cliff. Sandine Liljegren, but I don't anticipate either to be in the playoff shuffle. But then, Brody is meh. Muzzin at times has been whatever, right? Justin Holl, kind of, I guess. But Mark Giordano,
He's got a good
a
shot.
lot better.
Yeah.
Pretty good shot, yeah. I like his footwork on the blue line as well, offensively. So.
I honestly haven't thought about that much because I'm more just excited on the stability he brings in the defensive zone. I actually wouldn't mind. He is going to bring some offense, but I wouldn't mind if he brought zero offense. Yeah. If they buried him in the defensive zone with Brody and just had him playing the toughest minutes, I'd be fine with that.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we need. Yeah. We don't. We it will be nice if he chips in on offense. We don't need that though. We don't. That's why nobody wanted John Klingberg.
Yeah. Well, I don't think nobody want. I mean, like someone wanted Jeremy Lauzon.
Well, I'm saying no Leafs fan wanted John Klingberg by the end of it.
Yeah, and also Dallas didn't want to.
Yeah,
give him up.
But I'm just saying the type of player, like the positives that Giordano's going to bring are mostly for me going to be defensively.
Yeah. Another interesting part of this is that Mark Giordano and Colin Blackwell are both pretty good penalty killers, I would say.
Yeah,
and the Leafs have already a good penalty kill. For sure. So it'll be interesting. I can't see a scenario where they don't put Colin Blackwell on the penalty kill.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going to be interested to see who comes out.
Well, I think while Kosh is injured, it'll probably be him.
It seems positive the reports that came out today.
Yeah.
Like he tried to get back in the game Saturday, which would have been stupid.
Yeah.
Like I hope he's not like pushing it just to be like, no, I'm fine, but like he's actually not, because that's how you ruin your entire life. Forget hockey career. So that'll be something to keep their eye on. I mean, also on top of this, Kasha, just to keep on the Kasha scenario for 3 more seconds here. Kasha was held out randomly for like 3 games.
Yes.
Not too long ago, right?
Was that illness related though? I thought that was, or was that just like a lower / upper body, a body injury?
At first it seemed like an illness, but like, I don't know.
I swear they said
flu?
like injury, anyways, but maybe it was a lower body, upper body, just one of the vague, broad strokes injuries.
It was that was kind of a weird one there too, but I mean, the Leafs dynamic penalty kill gets a little bit better, even though they gave up a goal.
Yeah.
They've given up more goals as of recent, but I mean, can you really expect them to just like keep doing what they were doing on the penalty kill there? Right? Yeah,
well, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it a lot. So where do we think like Giordano and where do we want to see both these guys play in the lineup?
Ideally, like just as like a favorite kind of thing. I'd want to see him with Brody.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that again.
Yeah.
It looks like the lines are kind of shaken out. Like, are you guys still happy with Riley Lyubushkin, how that's looked so far?
Yeah, I'm not going to let I didn't really watch much of the Nashville game, but I'm not going to let like that. I don't know how well they were. They didn't seem that great, but in previous games, I thought they looked okay. So I'm okay with that.
I think it could work definitely in the playoffs. But so like my thing is like I think it going Riley Lyubushkin, Brody, Giordano, and then Muzzin Hole, like that's a pretty good playoff.
Solid. That's very
defensive
solid.
Rotation there, is it not?
Yeah, and they can also keep all those guys fresher, right? Nobody has to play 28 minutes a night in that scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a lot of like you don't think whenever you think of Leafs D, obviously it's like you don't think size, but there's like a lot of size on that back end. Like it's relatively big. Like it's
shortest guy is Morgan Riley.
Yeah. And then I think after that it'd be like Giordano, who's 6 feet, right? Or Brody, yeah.
One of those two. They're not the 6'2" or 6 foot. I'm not 100% sure. They're
anyways, Muzzin, Hall, Lyubushkin, all those guys are like big. We know Muzzin, Lyubushkin are tough. Like, a lot of physicality on the back end. We look, our back end is shaping up to be great for the playoffs. Like, it's going to be great. So
it would be nice to have Sandin, I think, over Hall.
Yeah,
because I think even though Hall is good, it seems like he's played better
with Brody.
Right. And he's not going to play with Brody. And I think Sandin has kind of shown exactly what he is every night.
Yeah.
And I think a more consistent Sandin is probably better than Hall, but I also think Hall and Muzzin, maybe hopefully they find some of that chemistry again. Who knows, right?
Yeah, because especially with we like I think we have to treat Sandin as up in the air at this point because like we don't know what the injury is going to be. We don't know what it like.
It seems like he's going to be out long term.
It's not days; it's weeks. They said
that's
right?
what Bob McKenzie said.
Yeah,
right?
so it's going to be, and we're only like 3 to 5, I think, weeks away from the playoffs. So if it's a week to week thing, I think Sandin might be maybe just off the table. So to play.
I'm going under the assumption that Sandin's not going to be back this year.
Because again, you don't want it to ruin him long term if he is injured, if he does have an injury and it gets re-aggravated and whatnot. But yeah, I like Giordano with Brody. I think that'd be a great pairing. Like, I don't know who else. I think that just, again, it just makes the most sense.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So,
and also you're bringing a defenseman into a new system there. Like the best, like it's kind of tough sometimes to integrate a defenseman into a new system. So what would be the best way to do so?
Playing with the guy who makes everyone else looks amazing.
Exactly. Right? Also playing with a familiar D partner.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He was awesome with Brody a few years ago, right? A lot of people were saying when Brody came to Toronto, is Brody what he's lived up to be because he's been playing with Giordano so much. That was only 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not this season, but
you're right.
I don't know.
Two seasons
Brody's
ago.
last. Yeah, there we go. Right? We had concerns about Brody because he played so much with Giordano. We're like, is this guy going to be good? So now they're back together. And that was a very good pairing only 2 years ago.
I don't see how they don't use that as the even. Okay, here's
especially
the other thing.
they're playing Wednesday and their only practice with Toronto is going to be Tuesday and then morning skate.
Yeah, I would play that as like my defensive pairing.
Yeah.
I would. I'd be confident too.
I'd want the top lines.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
So right now Muzzin's still out. What's the D going to look? Is Kivy Holme actually going to play Wednesday?
I'm honestly not sure. I haven't even looked at
no idea.
Because Sandin's obviously not playing.
Well, Lilligan, according to Cap Friendly, is still on the active roster. I don't know if it's updated with those two because they were called.
It's not.
It's not updated.
I don't know. Kivy Holme practiced.
Yeah.
The only reason I know that is because he ran Jason Spezza into the boards accidentally, or they hit each other and they fell.
No,
So-
Cap Friendly is not updated.
So
That's the thing. We have honestly no idea what's going to happen with the roster right now.
yeah,
They made so many moves on Sunday.
And Sandin is in flux. Kasha might be in flux. Muzzin is in flux.
I highly doubt. Okay, so like for Wednesday at least, Muzzin, Kasha, Sandin are all not playing for sure.
But I'm saying more cap-wise, is Sandin going on LTIR? Because if he goes on LTIR, that gives you some flexibility.
Yeah.
Is Kasha going LTIR? If he goes LTIR, that also gives you flexibility.
Yeah.
So who
If
knows?
I were to guess, Sandin, yes, Kasha, no.
Yeah. Okay.
I also wonder, like, I don't know, just thinking out loud, what's the difference between like if Sandin were to just get sent down, like if he's, I don't know, like how that works. He's waivers exempt, so I don't know, like.
I don't think you can send down an injured player.
Oh, you can't. Okay,
Like, you can't send him down and they go, oh, well, his knee is all banged up.
True. Okay.
So hopefully he's ready to go for next year. That's really unfortunate that like this guy has come in, like he showed so much promise in the first year. Last year, a bunch of injuries and kind of got jerked around.
Yeah.
And then came into the playoffs, played exceptionally, had a couple unfortunate situations, but
Scored.
whatever.
Yeah.
Did score, did show a lot of good
Scratched.
offense. Yeah, that was... Damn it. Anyways. And then this year, same sort of, like, comes in, again, some games has showed to be an exceptional defenseman overall. And then this happens again. It's like, damn it.
Yeah.
You got to feel for the guy there.
Yeah.
I think he's starting to win over most Leafs fans as a permanent member of our decor.
Fans for sure.
So-
I hope he's winning over management, though.
Yeah.
Right?
That I can't answer for you, but I think so, and that's unfortunate. But just an opportunity for somebody else to step up now. You know, Justin Hall, we kept him in the expansion draft. Like he should be ready to step up and ready to go right now. Like that's Dermott's gone, Sandin's gone, Liljegren's sent down for the time, and even if Liljegren's up, he should know that his spot is relatively safe.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm a bit surprised. Are you guys a bit surprised considering that Dermott went out, even though they brought in Giordano, and then after that they find out that Sandin is probably done for long term, that they didn't bring in another depth defenseman?
Yeah, I saw right when they announced that like Sandin might be hurt. I thought, all right, no matter what happens with Mrazek, because like I was kind of under the impression that if Mrazek didn't get claimed, like probably nothing's gonna happen. But even regardless of that, whatever happened to Mrazek, once I heard that news, I'm like, okay, they're for sure adding a depth defenseman. I'm kind of shocked they didn't. So, but I guess they like what they have within more than what was already out there. So, but yeah, I like the tidy piece of work that they did with Dermott though. That was great. Good for Dermott because he really deserves a shot. Like he's been here for 5 years now. He hasn't shown the ability to play in the top four. We've given him opportunities. He hasn't done it, and I think it's just time for him. it was time for him to move on, and I'm super happy that we got a third for him. That was great. Great work.
I have some very confident. I have confidence. He was duped yesterday. He thought he was he thought it was going to be Vegas or Vancouver, and then at one point he was very surprised. From what I was told, he thought he was going to Seattle because of a fake tweet that was going on around.
Fake tweets get everyone, man.
Yeah. And I was sent a video of him on his phone, so I do believe it.
Yeah.
But he got. But nope, it was Vancouver. Wish him all the best, but
he's been they said he asked for a trade a long time ago.
Yeah, he was very I'm sure he must have been very upset that he was a scratch. He was playing all of last year, right? And then going into the playoffs, he got scratched. He must have been pretty upset there, especially for a defenseman that was playing almost every game for how many years in a row, right? But when you look at it, this guy has 6 points. Is he really an exceptional defensive defenseman? Did he really show anything outside of a third pairing role? So it was time to move on from him. Hopefully he finds success in Vancouver.
Yeah, I was hoping even if Shen got traded, he'd have a shot maybe to play some top 4 minutes, but Shen's still there. So he'll probably be on the third pairing there, but he'll play every night. So we'll see how that goes for him.
So quickly, kind of bouncing around here, but we didn't really touch too much on Colin Blackwell and where do you guys see him playing in the lineup?
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
There's 15 forwards on the Leafs.
Yeah.
There is. So I have no idea where anyone's going to play again. Signing Clifford for 2 extra years, signing Simmons for 2 extra years was, I don't know why. I still don't know. Simmons, is he an odd man out? If not, is Kosh an odd man? Who's the odd man out?
I don't know.
And now Robertson's probably not in the picture.
No.
Which is a bit frustrating, but
it's so tough to predict because right now when you think about the Leafs forwards, Alex Kerfoot's on the fourth line.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's been put up into the second line, whatever. I don't know, do they try to put him on the wing with Tavares and Nylander?
Who?
Blackwell.
I doubt it.
You doubt it?
Yeah.
So I don't see why they wouldn't just give it a shot because they obviously haven't. I don't know why they didn't. I guess they didn't find a solution for it in Nick Robertson.
He's going to play the wing.
Yeah.
Dubas said he liked that he could play left wing, right wing.
Yeah.
Also, the one thing that you said that I actually think is the opposite is you said we have a lot of defensive players in our bottom 6. I think we have a line of defensive players in our bottom 6.
Yeah.
I think our fourth line is pretty poor defensively. I think that's why they traded for him.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
they've put
Simmons and Spets, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But Kerfoot's been good if he's playing in the bottom 6.
Yeah, but Kerfoot's been up and down, right?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying
true.
the guys that have been up, they've put certain good defensive players there. They put Engvall there. They put Kerfoot there. They put Kasha there. But in terms of Spezza and Simmons, I mean, they're pretty slow.
Well, that's why they put Kerfoot there, though, right?
Yeah.
It's because the line was having such a rough job in its own zone. So I think that's where Blackwell comes in. Again, currently on the roster, 14 forwards. That doesn't even include Nick Robertson. So I don't know how it's going to shake out. We'll see what happens. I'm fully on board with splitting up Tavares and Nylander and trying to figure out an optimal way to do that. So we'll see what happens because you know what? I don't. Well, maybe we'll get into this in the next episode. I don't think those guys help each other at all.
Yeah.
No, right now, no.
I think those guys are both good on their own. I think playing together or playing apart would make almost no difference to their individual production per minute.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we kind of said that about Nylander's Matthews. So it's I don't know what the hell. It's so frustrating because the one time they actually tried to separate them, they ended up back together a period later, like I predicted.
Yeah. And then it's
Sheldon Keefe is kind of being
Tavares played 2 games we'll talk about it on Wednesday with Marner and Bunting, and he looked fantastic.
Yeah.
So maybe that shows maybe it's less about him playing with Marner.
He had some good moments against Nashville too. He looked like he had more jump. I don't know what that was all about.
But maybe it becomes, Blackwell plays with Kampf and Mikheyev. I don't know. Maybe you put Tavares with Kasha and Kerf. I don't know. So I don't know. So I have no idea.
The only reason why I brought this up is because last year he played a lot with Panarin, Blackwell, and
he did.
Yes, yeah. That was his most common line mate according to Dover prospects.
No way.
Lines by quarter. Yeah.
That we're gonna look that up on
played
the fly.
Played a lot with Panarin, and then this past year he played a decent amount with Yanni Gourde, and kind of bounced around with Morgan Geekie as the other center. But yeah, he does have the ability to play with higher skilled guys and complement them maybe. So that's why just asking about the second line. So
yeah, maybe.
Who knows? But I'm all for that idea of splitting them up. I've been kind of on that train for a while.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Strome number 1, Yanni Gourde number 2, Artemi Panarin number 3.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So maybe that's... Anyways, that's just a plus
playing,
on top of all the other
playing
things.
Playing with better players, kind of playing that what we've seen with Hyman, what we've seen with Bunting kind of role, that grittier role, puck retrievals, all that good stuff.
A guy who can elevate with when surrounded by good players.
Yeah, bring some defensive...
Then why did the Rangers leave him unprotected?
I don't know.
Then why did Seattle trade him? That's the only thing I don't get in these scenarios. But maybe we got a little steal on our hands here.
Maybe. But Seattle also trading him could just be getting assets. They did a great job, by the way. A lot of people critical of them at the expansion draft. I thought they did a great job at the trade deadline bouncing around.
Now,
yeah,
right?
They did a really good job.
But it's kind of funny because everything they did at the expansion draft, they're just undoing right now.
Yeah.
But maybe that was their overall
plan.
understanding.
Possibly.
Yeah,
right?
that you get more value at the trade deadline than you would in expansion.
Now they have a first, 4 seconds, a third, 3/4, and
4
they have
seconds?
unlimited cap space.
Yeah.
They haven't signed. The only guy that they've committed to long term is Jaden Schwartz as a UFA, who's been good. Wenberg, that's maybe a miss, and then they just signed Jared McCann. Other than that, they really don't have many long term commitments. They have Everly, who's already exists.
Larson.
Yeah, those guys on D.
Grubauer, Dreger.
They have a ton of space.
They have room to move.
Yeah.
But yes, so that was pretty much all the...
I mean, Colin Blackwell also, he was on my, best value contract?
Yeah.
What was that episode we did?
Yeah.
Because he's under league
You know
minimum.
what, guys? Maybe he
League
could be
minimum.
the Bunting to the second line.
Hopefully.
Who knows?
Hopefully.
Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, we only got Bunting for $950, right?
Yeah.
Little diamond in the rough situation.
The only thing is, I'm just kind of shocked that there's a huge clutter at forward. And there's a decision to be made on two depended on veterans that people like a lot. Because I'm not even sure Spezza's spot is safe at this point. I would still have him in there.
Yeah,
he scored 5 points in the playoffs last year. He's been pretty consistent at generating short
they're
spurts
putting
of
him
offense.
on every 6-on-5, right?
Yeah,
That's the sixth guy.
So,
I can't imagine they take him out.
Okay, so then but where does who's out then?
I don't know. I think Wayne Simmons is out.
Well,
I think so too. Yeah.
It's they gave him the 1,000th. They gave him the heritage. They gave him his celebration. I think after that now it's just
which is then puzzling to why they gave him $900K for 2 years again.
I think they just like him in the locker room, and it's
year?
it's
I don't know why'd they give
you can bury him.
Kyle Clifford.
I don't
another
know.
2 years.
I have no idea.
The whole point is that you can bury those guys. I feel like those are guys again that they like in their locker room, and it's like if push comes to shove and we really really have to, we're struggling to fit we're struggling to win games. We can't fit under the cap. All right, Simmons, sorry, you got to go down to the minors.
But instead, it's been sorry, Nick Robertson, your top prospect, you're out.
Yeah, I know, but is Simmons playing now? Simmons still hasn't played, right?
I don't know.
I doubt he's playing.
So
I kind of doubt he is playing Wednesday, right?
We'll see. They have yet to have they played a game without Simmons or Clifford in the lineup?
They played no Simmons, but Clifford on. What was it?
Last
Saturday.
3 games.
Has Clifford played the last 3
Yep.
games? Yeah. So then, no.
Over Nick Robertson.
Yep.
No, I'm not saying it's the right or wrong move. I'm just
He
laying out
didn't look good.
why having these guys on the roster, whether they can be buried or not, can maybe frustrate a Nick Robertson or frustrate a Travis Dermott.
Yeah.
So, just peculiar.
I mean, I think it's obvious that they want a guy who can fight, I guess, as their 12th guy.
But then, then is Kasha out?
Oops.
Well, I
Also,
he is
they
right
want a
now.
guy that can fight. Why has nobody been fighting?
That's true. I don't know.
There hasn't been any fights in a long time.
I really don't know.
There's been one, and it was Justin Hole because he got suckered by Max Domi.
Well, that's the point, right? The answer is I don't know why they did this stuff and then traded for Colin Blackwell. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
But I don't think it's the wrong move trading for
I
Colin
don't
Blackwell.
I don't
Colin
either.
Blackwell
I was just
seems
saying,
like a great player, and if that muddies the water for Nick Robertson, if he's better than Nick Robertson, then oh well. Sorry.
like that.
Well, no, I think he does certain things better. But in terms of what you're saying, why are these veterans these certain veterans? Why did we
Keep re-signing them and then trade for, and then just getting a guy at the deadline anyways? Why isn't Nick Robertson playing all those games instead? If you're going to bench Simmons in the playoffs anyways, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, at one point Simmons looked really good, and we were singing he was singing his praises at one point. But this 2022, I don't think he has. Does he have one goal?
No.
I thought he had one, but maybe that was it. He's not doing well at all.
No, he doesn't have a goal in like 30 games.
Yeah, there you go. So I don't know what's going on there, right?
Yeah,
but
that's all I'm saying. My original point was I don't know why they did that. Not saying it's right or wrong. I just don't know.
It looked good at first, and then I don't know what's gone on with him since then. But who knows, right? Anyway, so yeah, the forwards are kind of a mess. It seems like the D are kind of falling into place.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's
I don't
perfectly
see. Yeah, I can see a few different combinations, but nothing really.
Hall's the 6, Liljegren's the 7, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to be
until Sandin comes back, probably, right?
I don't.
Yeah,
but if he does, anyways.
If he does, yes, it's a big if.
And even then, it might be Sandin as a 7th, and Hall as the 6th, though.
Yeah. Again, I really do hope Sandin gets better. I mean, it's wildly unfortunate.
Final trade grade for the Leafs trade deadline, and let's lump in. Should we lump in the Lyubushkin trade as well? Do we consider that as a part of like deadline? Like if we were to give them a trade,
it's mid-season.
I would say still a part of the roster mid-season roster revamp.
Yeah.
Like I Calgary's deadline. I look at with Toffoli too, like kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So what will we give them? What do we give the team? How do we feel like we did?
I think I'm happy. I'm really happy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, they checked a lot of boxes for me. I think an A.
Yeah, I think so too. It has to be like A- probably for me, especially coming off of last year. Like and the fact that we got
Matthew Nyes did not get traded. A first round pick did not get traded.
Yep. Kept all our
a lot of seconds did get moved, but I think they did pretty well.
But we got a third back too, which is nice. I know that's not, even though we gave a third, but having that third back in this draft, I think really helps out because even though we gave a pick in this upcoming draft 2022, we still have 3 picks, and we made great use of our 3 picks last draft. If we can do it again, those are wins. Yeah.
Matthew Nyes in the Big Ten Big Ten tournament championship, baby. You see that?
Well, yeah,
couple goals, a nice chance in there as well. You look good. So now let's see it at the Frozen Four, and then after that, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So one
someone brought it up, and I actually don't know the answer. Because it's past trade deadline, if the Leafs sign Nyes and Abruzzese to entry-level deals, are they playoff eligible? Because I know the cutoff is trade deadline.
Yeah.
But does that also apply to it? Does?
No, they are playoff eligible.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Because guys have been signed after in the past and played.
Like who though?
When did? Oh, that's a good question. Because Cale Makar already had a contract, or did he sign that year and then play?
I don't know. Look that one up.
Because I think Cale Makar might be an example of that. I don't think either of those guys are playing in the playoffs, though, guys. We just talked about 15 forwards.
Yeah, I know. It was just something that someone brought up.
I don't know the answer to that, to be honest.
Interesting. I couldn't find it.
I think those guys should have no expectations of playing with the Leafs this year. I think they should have a good couple games with the Marlies and then start with the Marlies again next year.
But maybe Marlies playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be fun.
Right? So, yeah. Nick Robertson did score a rocket the other day, too.
So Cale Makar was signed April 14th, 2019, and played the 2019 playoffs. So, yes, they can.
So, yeah. Oh, interesting. He won't.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know.
Maybe Nyes will. Nyes has a better shot for sure.
Yeah, because he is a fit.
Like a left wing.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of good things that I saw in Nick Abruzzese, especially breaking down certain plays, but it's like, how much can you really tell from a 23-year-old playing college? Right?
Also, it seems like from the trade chatter that Matt Nyes is being looked at as like a grade A prospect.
Yeah.
So, that's the guy you'd give a chance to.
And we drafted him low second round.
That was a great pick.
Amazing.
Interesting. Anyways, Josh, what was your grade?
I'm not as high as you guys. I'd say like a B.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they had to bury their $3.8 million goalie to make it all work. It's kind of like an all encompassing.
You do have to include that.
I was really happy. I think it helped that Mark Giordano wanted to come to Toronto. I wonder the scenario where Mark Giordano didn't want to come to Toronto, like what would have happened.
Yeah, that would have been interesting because what other deal would we have gotten really other than
that's why it's
who was available, right?
Possibly would have had to like swing for the fences at like Lindholm.
Yeah, or maybe we just kept Dermott and literally just did nothing.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I hope not.
So I think it was a solid
good thing we
solid
didn't,
B.
yeah.
Like I still think that's good. They did good work. I still think there's a lot of questions with the forward group. Like a lot. I don't know. I would have really liked to see, again, maybe some more finagling with Muzzin on LTIR. I really think that was a big opportunity for them that was missed. Like Florida added Claude Giroux and Ben Sherratt. Like that's an A+, right? Whether you like Ben Sherratt or not. Those guys are premium players.
In terms of like additions to the, they also made a few other moves,
Yeah.
I believe. But in terms of additions and like adding to the roster and filling holes on your roster, like Claude Giroux alone is an A+. Like,
Exactly.
You could have got Josh Brown. Is that his name?
Yeah.
You could have got Josh Brown as well. I still would have given it an A+.
That's what
but
I'm saying.
Giroux and like in terms of value giving up, like the Sherratt one is obviously a pretty big overpay.
Yeah.
Pretty massive overpay, I will
Yeah.
say. But like getting Giroux and giving up Owen Tippett, who's been in and out of your lineup, 10th overall in 2018, if I'm not correct.
Yeah.
Is he a 2000? I thought he was 99 for some reason. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I think he is a 99.
He's a 99.
Doesn't matter. Anyways, he's a 98?
99.
99? Okay, I was right. Like a first, Owen Tippett, and what was it, a third or something like that?
It's also a first in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. So there's that. And then not only did they get Claude Giroux, wasn't there a pick in there, Connor
Yeah.
Bunneman, and a former first-round pick in German Rupsov, or Yerman Rupsov?
Yeah.
Like, Bunneman's been in Flyers lineup this year. And he's a late 90s birthday, too, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think he'll be an everyday guy for Florida, but, like, they got a 15th, 13th forward as well in there. I don't know what... I think Giroux just said, I'm only going to Florida or Colorado.
Yeah.
And it was just, okay.
Similar to Giordano, right?
Similar to Taylor Hall last year,
Yeah.
too.
But
Right? So
that-
hands are kind of tied. Get what you can.
I like the Leafs deadline a lot, though. Like the beat, I don't think that's a good grade. I just don't. The goalie situation's still outstanding.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that it's Kyle Dubas' fault because I don't know what he would have done.
Yeah.
Like I saw a tweet from Sid
Ari
Sixeros. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I saw a tweet from Sid Sixeros saying like he's shocked the Leafs didn't do anything for their goalies. Like other than Fleury, there was really not an option for them.
Yeah, like what if they went out, acquired a goal, and he put up 880 save percentage for the next 16 games that he played? That's what happened to us.
Other options. I mean,
Yeah, like,
Kakinen, but
Who knows, right? So
Kakinen was an interesting one.
Yeah.
that would have been one.
Would have been a nice one.
Yeah, but he's just because he makes no money. He's a minimum, almost a minimum contract, right?
yeah.
And he's under team control at the end of the year, I believe.
Yeah, I would you guys have been happy if the Leafs gave a conditional second to get Fleury, and the condition is they made the conference finals,
So a second for Fleury.
and if they made a conference finals, it was a first.
So a second for Fleury. Sorry.
Well, Minnesota's good this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with what we
What do you
did.
mean at first? Conference finals.
I
They're
know,
in
I'm
the
just-
West.
I'm just saying that like the Leafs wouldn't make it out of the first.
Oh,
the
you're
joke.
saying,
Sorry.
I ruined that joke. Great job, you moron.
No,
Holy, I butchered that one.
I'm happy that they didn't make a like. I'm okay with them not making a move for a goalie because like I just don't like goalies are magical. I don't understand how they work. So
Yeah, second,
that's
a
it,
conditional second. It seems like a lot, and you're like, you don't quite know what you're going to get there.
yeah.
I thought that was a good trade for Minnesota.
I thought
I thought
so
they were
too,
going to have
yeah.
to give a Pierre LeBrun made it seem like the Leafs are going to have to give their entire prospect pool to get him, and then they got him for a conditional second. Like that was a pretty. I thought that I didn't think they had a goalie issue necessarily. I think they had two competent goalies. Their goalies were better than the Leafs goalies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
far
they
this
were
year.
decent. I mean, one of them, Cam Talbot, was an all-star this year.
He also just won like 5 games in a row or something.
Right now?
Yeah, after playing poorly for a long stretch.
Same. Kakinen was on a stretch, too. He was on a heater.
So I don't know, but
And Kakinen's younger, and they put him on, he was on the expansion.
Yep.
They didn't protect him.
and he didn't get picked. But I do also get like Minnesota's probably trying to go for it this year because they buried themselves with those buyouts.
Yeah.
So that was
That
an
makes sense.
interesting trade around the league.
It was. I don't know how I would have felt with the Fleury one. I don't think great. I mean, wouldn't it be awesome, though, if Mrazek just came out and went on a heater?
He's not going to play.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
You never know.
He might have to eventually,
You
but
never
for
know,
now,
honestly.
We got to also look up the cap implications. Like, he cleared waivers.
Yes. So
Does that mean he can be on the active roster and it's not a 3.8 hit?
no.
no.
I think he can still be an emergency call up, but for now,
that's what it was. Nick Ritchie was on the taxi squad. So that makes more sense.
His contract is just $3.8 million less. I think it's like 1 point whatever it is, 125, 225, something like less 1 and some bit million. So, you get like about $1 million-ish in cap relief, and if we, I believe if there's ever a situation where we go into game day and we don't have a backup goalie healthy,
it's emergency call up, and that doesn't go against the cap.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
So. But also, if we do ever actually get a legit injury, we could just the LTIR space is enough that we could just call him. Anyways.
Yeah.
Exactly. Also, our question got answered of would we be able to move Mrazek? The answer is no, because nobody claimed him for free.
I'm honestly shocked.
I'm not even remotely surprised.
All right, I think there's just gonna be some teams trying to get to the floor, and that's just a guy who's gonna get you to the floor. But
maybe in the summer.
Maybe in the summer.
Maybe it's more of a feasible deal in the summer.
Yeah,
a lot of teams are close to the cap, but that's gonna be a tough one this summer.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do there. I mean, as we said, he is an NHL goalie. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he bounces back, but it's just in terms of this season itself, it seems like kind of a lost cause, right? Yeah. Take the summer, reset kind of thing, but I don't know, right? So.
Yeah, and, Eric Källgren's been a good story, so.
I mean, he's he played well against Nashville.
Yeah. The
only goal where it was could have stopped, but still was a good shot, good play. 3-on-2 and the forward beat Michael Bunting. It was the first goal, but he made 3 very good saves as well.
Yeah, I think everyone's happy with how he's played. But going forward, I guess it'll be Campbell and Källgren probably. Even just from cap purposes, I don't think they can do anything else. So
yes,
we'll see what happens from just going forward before we start to talk the other trades. My focus now is let's get Muzzin back in the lineup as soon as we can, and let's figure out this decor distribution, because that's a really fun thing to watch now that they've added Giordano, right?
Yeah.
Any around the league, give me the moves you guys didn't like.
So maybe we go against how we feel the Atlantic teams stack up against the Leafs, in the deals that they made, because I feel a lot of the Atlantic division, the bells of the ball all kind of went to the Atlantic division.
Bells of the ball.
Yeah, most of the good most of the players who were high up on the trade boards that were highly sought after that got traded ended up in the Atlantic division. And I was joking with you guys that I honestly think that some of the players that from the start of the season that have been brought into the Atlantic division, specifically on Toronto, Tampa, Boston, and Florida, that team alone could be a bubble playoff team.
Yeah, add Sam Reinhart. Florida got Sam Reinhart. Add Bunting that the Leafs got.
Claude Giroux.
There's a lot of
Giordano,
it's crazy.
Lindholm, right?
This division is loaded. But I think, again, that's why I gave the Leafs a B, because I can't look at any of the other teams and say that they didn't also improve the equal amount that the Leafs did.
Yeah. Because
that's true.
Panthers, got
Tampa,
the Panthers definitely, in my opinion, are the number one team, whether you like Ben Sherrod or not. First of all, Ekblad ended up having to go on LTIR, which sucks for them.
I didn't know that. Okay.
But he could be back in the first round.
I bet he'll be back in the first round. But not only that, Sherrod's going to play second pair isolated minutes that are going to be much more tailored to his style in the playoffs. He's going to play with, he's going to play with Forsling on their second pair. And then they're going to have Montour and Gudas on their third pair.
It's the same thing. People said when the Panthers traded for Brandon Montour, they called him the worst defenseman in the league. And it's because he was playing 20 minutes a night on Buffalo.
Yeah,
he's an offensive-only, one-dimensional defenseman.
And he's been great for them
because he's been played to his strength.
Yeah.
And he's only playing under 17 minutes now, and he's playing sheltered minutes, second power play as well. And shocker, you play a defenseman to his strengths, and he excels.
Yeah, he's only playing 17 minutes a game this year, but he's got 25 points, playing second power play, good numbers overall. And again, once you get past the fact that, Florida did overpay for Ben Sherrod, they still have Ben Sherrod for this year. All we're talking about is this year. For a Leafs perspective, we're thinking future and stuff like that. But for the Panthers, it's still equally scary whether they gave a second or a first for Ben Sherrod.
Yeah.
And especially who you're able to pair him with. That's also important.
He's going to be insulated so well. He's going to be everyone that Florida gets in the last 2 seasons has excelled. Every single player they've gotten. So
Mason Marchment included, unfortunately.
Carter Verhaeghe, Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart was already good.
Anthony Duclair.
Wow, is he good? Anthony Duclair, Forsling, Montour. Like they clearly have plans for their players.
Alex Wenberg, right?
He was great last year.
Great
You're right.
last year.
So that's a scary team. I think they won the deadline for sure. I mean, Claude Giroux is one of the 50 best players in the league.
Yeah.
And they're just adding him to an already stacked forward core. So it's going to be tough to compete with them. I think they're the winners, number one. I think Tampa and Boston both made good moves, though. What did you guys think of those moves?
Starting with Tampa, it was interesting because they gave a lot for Brandon Hagel and Nick Paul. They gave in total two first-round picks, a fourth, and 3 NHL roster players, which I feel like you don't really see as much of at the trade deadline for a team that's competing, giving out roster play like more roster players than you're getting back. It's kind of weird, but yeah. What's up?
Sorry to sneak up and what are you looking at? Oh,
I was
those
just
are all
looking
the trades.
the trade.
Okay.
Yeah, the trades that Tampa
I thought
Bay
you were
made.
looking at something that was a summary of
no,
who they got there.
Just the cap friendly trades. But yeah, I think they gave a lot for what they got. But again, if they feel like they can improve their team,
they got
know.
Riley Nash and then sent him down.
He's going to be their depth forward option in case one of their centers gets hurt.
Interesting.
Their fourth line is Maroon, Bellemare, and Corey Perry, which is a sick fourth line for them. Their third line, they're going to try to replicate last year's fourth line with Nick Paul, Ross Colton, and Brandon Hagel. Not nearly as good. I'd say it's 75% as good. Mm-hmm. But now they've completely stacked their top six.
They also got a pretty good prospect for free.
Who?
Ilya Usov. He's a 2001 born, and he had 26 points in 40 KHL games.
Which trade did they get on?
They signed him.
Oh, they signed him. Okay.
He was unsigned.
So, but yeah, Hagel, the reason Hagel's valuable to them, because A, they know how they're going to use him. B, he has club control. But man, they paid a lot to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but again, the only thing we have to worry about is...
People were saying that was more than what Vegas gave up for Jack Eichel. What do you think on that? I don't think so at all.
I don't think so.
No, because Alex Tuck is
a
like
very good player.
Yeah, Alex Tuck's a top 6 forward.
And also they got a very good
and
prospect.
Krebs, yeah. And no, they didn't.
And a first, right?
But they gave a lot.
Yeah.
They gave a lot, no doubt.
For sure.
I think Nick Paul's a sneaky good ad for them. I think he got asked to do way too much in Ottawa.
Oh, yeah.
And he was not
Second
bad.
line center.
And he was really not bad. He can play in a checking third line role on any team, and he's going to do a good job. They already have Ross Colton, and worst comes to worst, they can swap Colton and Cirelli can center that line. Like they got a lot of depth. It's a really good team. It's going to be scary to play.
I did see someone bring up. Are we sure Matthew Joseph is not? Or sorry, Nick Paul is better than Matthew Joseph
for what Tampa wants? 100%.
Exactly.
There's
it's
no
the
doubt.
role that they're going to be playing Nick Paul in that Matthew Joseph couldn't quite fit in. So that's where I think Ottawa did well in that trade.
I think it works out for both teams because they just.
Yeah.
I think someone used the analogy. They kicked the can down the road with Matthew Joseph. Yeah. Like it's a similar level player. Maybe they give him a chance and he excels. If not, they probably trade him at a future deadline for another. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think.
But also, I don't get okay, I get that a lot of us people because you don't watch as many games as you can. You can't watch every single game, so you want to rely on the analytics, which is fair. And I get Matthew Joseph's player card looked better than Nick Paul's player card. Do you really think Tampa Bay, who makes the most shrewd moves in the league, they draft, they develop better than everyone else? They make great deals at every deadline. Do you think they don't know what they're doing? You think they haven't seen those stats as well?
Also, everyone called Blake Coleman and Barclay Goodrow overpayments.
Yeah. Clearly,
look what happened.
Yeah, but also, again, if Matthew Joseph wasn't, I like Matthew Joseph. I think he's a good player. Completely different than Nick Paul.
Yeah,
completely different player.
It's not the same at all.
So I think they know exactly what they want. That's why they're comfortable giving up 2 firsts. I think that's a massive overpay for Brandon Hagel.
Oh, yeah.
But they like what he's going to bring to the table.
Yeah.
They'll just sign free agents from Russia.
Yeah.
Cream of the crop free agents from Russia.
And if you get 4 years of
Belarus,
of control is also very that's worth something. So that's important to know.
4 years?
Yeah, because he's an RFA after his this year included after his last year.
Oh, okay.
So he's signed for this year, 2 more after this, and then another because he's an RFA.
And he makes 1.5 for 2 more years.
So
that's a great contract, obviously.
1.5, that's it.
And also, again, on top of that, they get to sign Corey Perry and Zach Bogosian for minimum contracts.
Yeah.
Who are both seasoned veterans with deep NHL Cup run experience. And Corey Perry's going to be like a 45-point player, 20 goals this year.
Crazy. I know.
And Bogosian was a stalwart in our D-core last year in the bottom pairing. So
exactly. 23-24.
It's scary. And then Boston, I think Boston is maybe a rung below because their overall roster is not as good as the other 2 teams. I'm kind of surprised they didn't trade Jake DeBrusk. What do you guys think?
Yeah, the second, like when you see the extension, you kind of maybe think it was a sign and trade.
There was rumors out there that they're still moving him. I think, again, that's an off-season kind of move. They couldn't find the right move that would improve their roster to what they would like right now. So sign Jake DeBrusk, take away the qualifying offer concerns, and then this offseason look to make a hockey move with him, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
does that make sense?
He can contribute to their playoff run.
Yeah,
greatly,
hugely.
Yeah.
He's been playing a lot better right now.
Yeah, and like Boston's window is pretty much almost shut. Like it's just about closing right now. So like it makes sense that they held on to him and kept him.
I don't know.
So.
Just never say never with these.
Yeah, I know you never know. But like freaking, how long can Patrice Bergeron be like the best defensive center in the NHL for? I don't know. I guess everyone's been saying that for 6 years
Still now
but
somehow.
I know, right? But
yeah, I'm curious to where they're going to use Lindholm.
Yeah, interesting.
I think he'll probably play with Brandon Carlo.
Okay.
And they think they'll try Riley or Grzelcyk with McAvoy still. And if they have to, they'll put Lindholm with McAvoy. It'll be a great top pairing.
Yeah.
So really, you can't really go wrong there for them.
No, not at all. And I mean, again, he hasn't been as good. Lindholm hasn't been as good in the past couple of years as what he was before that kind of thing. But I think he's going to. It also does really help when you're going to a winning team. And a competitor, like look at John Gibson in Anaheim. Like he was one of the better goalies in the NHL a couple of years ago. Like a few losing seasons in a row really takes a toll on your competitiveness.
He even said that, didn't he?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, he's a pretty like self-confident guy, and it's like when you're showing up to the rink just to lose every game, every 2 out of 3 games, it's like, all right, like where does your competitiveness go? Where does your mentality go? What are you competing for? Like. Maybe beginning of this season, he was playing really well. He was an all-star. Was he competing for that Olympic spot? Olympics go out the window. Your playoff chances go out the window. What happens, right? I'm just speculating right now, but makes sense, does it not?
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
I really like that move I think Hampus Lindholm's going to bring a lot to Boston there. They have a ton of D on their roster here.
Yeah.
But, I mean... It definitely does improve them. The other move, Josh Brown, I don't know what that was.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of him.
Do you guys know much about Josh Brown? I honestly don't.
He's big. That's it.
Yeah, he's not going to play, I don't think. Maybe 70.
He's probably okay.
And then
fire up some of the Boston fans with a fight here and there.
Yeah, maybe. New York was active.
Yeah.
Andrew Kopp.
Was it just last minute?
Yeah, Kopp,
they were
Tyler Mott. They also got Justin Braun. Those are all 3 really good moves for them. They have cap space. They used it. Good.
Giving up Morgan Barron. I kind of like that for when. Kind of like Morgan Barron's game.
You got to give up though. That was
obviously.
It was going to be a quote unquote buyer's market. It didn't really turn out that way. I don't think.
Yeah. Let me see who. So they got Barron for Braun for a third.
That was a good move.
They got Nick Merkley too. That was kind of it for Anthony Bitetto. I believe Merkley was a former first-round pick. I don't know where. Oh, Bitetto's old. So that'll be interesting to see what they do there. I have no idea what that was. I don't think he's going to be on their active roster. But, yeah, Tyler Mott, Andrew Kopp. Do you think they play Andrew Kopp in the top 6?
No.
And Frank Vetrano, too.
Exactly. So they added 3 of those guys. That could be a line for them because their fourth line is kind of nothing right now other than Reeves. Reeves is the only guy you can pencil into their fourth line. Right now they have Brodzinski and Greg McKagan there. Those guys are probably not going to play.
Yeah, no, those guys are replacement.
But yeah, I think once Kakko comes back, they have 12 really good forwards, which is good for them. I think Kopp has a chance to play in the top 6. He might not. You could have a Barkley Goudreau.
Yeah. Are you looking at elite prospects right now?
No.
Guess how many penalty minutes Ryan Reeves has this year?
100?
35.
Oh, good. Wow.
55 games.
Honestly, from the limited I've seen of Ryan Reeves, I think he's been extremely effective for him.
Yeah?
I do. I really do. I think he's overpaid.
He hasn't been fighting.
I think he's overpaid, but I think he does help them.
Really?
In very limited minutes.
Checking,
yeah.
Intimidation kind of way?
Yeah.
Like get everyone off their game.
Exactly. It's not anything like is he worth his contract? No. Like 0 chance. He's probably a minimum contract player. But
I wonder how many of those minutes are what's the word I'm looking minor penalties too.
Yeah.
Because the past 3 seasons, look at his penalty minutes: 47 in 71, 27 in 37, and 35 in 55.
He's essentially doing exactly what like we were paying Wayne Simmons to do, but like extremely more effective.
Oh, wow. 231 hits in 55
physicality.
games. Wow. That's a lot. 316, 141 in 37, and 231 in 55. Holy.
And again, he's only going to play like 6 minutes in the playoffs.
Yeah,
right?
even if he might even be a scratch, I wouldn't doubt that. But over an 82-game season, it's kind of a guy that you want to bring some life into your lineup, right?
Yeah.
So that's an interesting one.
Yeah, just switching speeds. How do we feel about like the prices for forwards? Because that's kind of one thing. I know we touched on Blackwell for a bit, but what are our thoughts on the prices for guys like Kopp, guys like Domi?
What was the full?
Raquel?
Domi was interesting
So
for sure.
I don't even. Yeah.
Actually, no. Domi, actually, I'm going to take that back. I mean, I can see how he wasn't valued that high. I for some reason was hearing rumors. I was hearing people talk, and I talked it up in my head how much he was going to be worth, but I'm not too surprised. Because was it retained at all?
I honestly don't even know the return. I'm trying to look on. I don't think it's been fully confirmed yet. Do you have the return right now in front of you?
It's a prospect. His name is Adam Hrenek. Or I don't have it in front of me.
Oh, it's just the prospect, really?
I believe it's just the prospect.
Okay, so Florida will pay. Okay, so something interesting is that Florida was a broker for this deal in retaining cap, which is kind of funny because like,
what the heck?
Okay, so, whoa, this looks like a very convoluted trade. Sorry, this is probably not the best radio. Yeah.
Oh well.
We should create a bingo card every time we say that. Okay, maybe we should wait a bit for that to trickle in. What about the Kopp return? Or what do you think?
What was the full Kopp?
So it was Kopp and a 2023 sixth to New York in exchange for Morgan Barron, who I don't know if you know much about. I don't know much about him. A 2022 second with the condition that the pick upgrades to a first if the Rangers win the first 2 playoff rounds and Kopp plays 50% of those games, which is
more than likely.
So and then another 2022 second, where they get to pick between the Jets get to pick between 2 different seconds and a fifth.
The Jets and
so essentially a second that could be a first, another second and a fifth plus Morgan Barron for Andrew Kopp and a sixth.
Okay, so conditional second.
So that's almost
2 conditional seconds and a fifth.
That's pretty much
plus Morgan Barron.
That's almost like I would say more than what we gave for Giordano because we also got Blackwell in return, even though we gave a third compared to a fifth for Giordano and Blackwell. We also got Blackwell in return. So,
yes,
it seems like the prices for forwards were pretty high, especially without there being any kind of premium forward out there other than really Claude Giroux.
Ooh, Barron's not as good as I thought. Never mind.
It
could fit. I think they saw something in him.
Yeah,
I don't think he was worth that much.
Yeah, they obviously got him for a reason. But
that's an interesting one. I mean, a lot of people really valued Andrew Kopp. I think he will bring a lot to the Rangers lineup. I didn't love the Rangers' depth this year in their lineup, but like these few moves that they made right now, I mean, that makes them much more competitive in the playoffs. I think they added like Tyler Mott's decent, Andrew Kopp's pretty good player. Justin Braun adds some good depth to the defense there. And then Frank Vetrano's a good volume shooter in the bottom 6, right? We've seen him score some goals. So that's not bad. I think New York cost-effectively
did a good job.
Did a pretty good job. I mean, they didn't... Oh, God.
Good.
It's getting musty.
Yeah.
But anyways, they didn't give an outright first for anyone, right?
Yeah.
They didn't add the biggest of names, sure, but they added... How many is that? I don't know why I'm...
3 forwards.
3. And a defenseman.
Yeah.
So 4 defensemen for not that much, right?
Yeah, I thought they did a good job.
Not bad.
I'm more thinking about like from the Leafs perspective of like we didn't get that that second line forward that we know of that we wanted, unless who knows what Blackwell's going to do. But so yeah, like I even though going into it that was almost my number one thing for them to get. I'm still happy because like it seems like the prices were maybe a little too high, like, and I'm okay with.
I'm all right. I mean, like when you look at the Leafs, like they weren't. I'll throw out the rumors kind of thing. Well, Brandon Hagel, they were in on Hagel, I heard. Which even then, like, is he a guaranteed top 6 kind of player? Not really. It was his contract which made him valuable.
Yeah.
So, or made him more valuable, right?
Yeah.
So adding Colin Blackwell is a good upgrade to the Leafs forward bottom six. And then on top of that, they upgraded their defense, which they really needed to do, right?
Yeah.
Goaltending you can debate about, I would say. But I'm happy. I mean, I heard people did want Andrew Kopp on the Leafs. I would have liked him as well, but as Josh said multiple times, there is a logjam at forward.
That's very
Toronto.
true.
So
that's very true.
I think it would be a gluttonous kind of thing to go out and get Andrew Kopp, address the real needs in the lineup, and then go from there. Right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded if like Tyler Mott came back in the Travis Dermott deal, maybe there, but
that almost
I'm
is
still okay with the third round.
Like you said, that might have even just muddied the waters more. But I again going into this deadline, I was just thinking if they could get a guy who was like doesn't make maybe just makes things clear because he's like, okay, we know this guy is for sure going to play on that left wing. But yeah, even just again like looking at the prices, I'm kind of happy that we didn't really acquire like a guy like Raquel or Kopp because like I feel like they gave a decent like Anaheim got a decent amount in return for Raquel.
What was the Raquel
they
one?
got a second round pick. I don't know who the prospect is, but they also got Zach Aston Reese on the way back, who's like a good, like a nice little depth piece for that has been a depth piece for Pittsburgh. So
Raquel.
I trying to find the prospect, but
Raquel. Why is this so hard to find? This website, I tell you. What's the return? Give me the full Raquel return. I'll just off the top of my brain.
Zach Aston Reese, Dominic Simone, prospect, and
who's the prospect though?
It just Bobby Margarita is just tweeting a prospect. So
retirement. I need to know who this is. How does that help me? Is it on cap?
That's his most recent tweet. So we're probably not gonna. Yeah,
that's not nice.
Yeah,
but anyways, whatever. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah. All in all, though, happy with the...
I thought it was just a second for Raquel. That's kind of interesting that they gave up one of their better two of their best defensive forwards.
Yeah.
For a sniper, quote unquote, that hasn't scored 30 goals in 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? So, interesting. I mean, I do think they needed to add some scoring, but to just throw away defense on that.
Yeah.
At what cost? I've won, but at what cost? Right? Any other moves that you wanted to take a look at?
I think we touched on everything, right? We touched on Fleury, we touched on Domi, the Ranger trade.
Any surprises?
I'm kind of surprised with what Vancouver did, seeing as they didn't really... First of all, absolute side note, what a steal they did with the Hamonic for a third. And then turning that into that was like the funniest thing of deadline days that they literally just traded Travis Hamonic for Travis.
Wasn't he was on waivers earlier this year
for Dermott. Yeah, it makes no sense. Like that's why I was like, I know it's like whatever. That's why I was so weird about Peter Mrazek not getting claimed because so many of these guys get claimed and end up like people just trade for them anyways. It's like this guy was on waivers. Why didn't you claim him then? And now you want him for a third. It just. Some of these moves.
It's not even that. With some of these players, it's like they clear waivers and then you trade for them so that you can automatically assign them to your AHL club. That's not going to be the case with Travis Hamonic. And on top of that, he's getting paid way too much.
Yeah. No, it's weird. Like
that trade was just
it made no sense.
I do not understand that at a third round pick for Travis Hamonic.
Yeah,
was he? He hasn't been good this year at all. He wasn't good last year. His contract is an overpayment. What does he do out there?
I honestly I cannot answer that question. I just thought it was hilarious. But anyways.
Get them to the cap floor. Is that all he does? That's his asset?
Maybe, but again, if we're trading picks to get to the cap floor, like, hello, there's a goalie on waivers that you can get for free that can get you to the cap floor. Like,
they have too many goalies.
Oh.
They have way too many goalies. They have Gustafsson, who I think is probably... waiver exempt next year, but they signed Forsberg and they have Matt Murray.
I know, but I was just saying, like, if it's for the purpose of to get into the floor, like, I just don't get it. Like also the Winnipeg, Arizona deal. Like, I don't know who that guy Arizona got for a fourth. Like, how good that guy is. I don't know his name.
Winnipeg, Arizona. Was that the one with
Brian Little? So,
the prospect they got there. He's a bit older. He played on the Olympic team for USA, but he's having himself a pretty good year.
Okay, but is like. I assume part of that deal was getting Brian Little to get yourself to the cap floor, and like, or maybe I don't know. Anyways,
I don't know. It was mainly to get that prospect.
True. Okay, I didn't realize that then, but
also, yeah, I guess help you to get to the cap.
Because I was looking at Arizona next year, they have not a lot of players signed. They're at $35 million right now.
Jack McBain, couple.
Yeah, they're gonna sign guys for sure, but again, like how much are they gonna pay these guys? Like,
hopefully they don't rush some of their prospects. That'd be a bad one.
Anyways, my main point is the floor for the salary cap is $60 million. The Arizona Coyotes essentially have to sign $25 million worth of players between now, like,
oh my god,
over the next
Louis Erickson for 5x5.
Exactly. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, that's why I was just really confused why they didn't like claim that goal. Anyways, maybe it's an opposite thing.
They claimed Hari Satari instead of Peter Mrazek.
Anyways,
I think it doesn't screw things up for the Leafs.
No, it doesn't at all.
Right.
It's just silly, I think. Anyways, whatever. But
it was odd.
How would you rank this trade deadline in general? Were you happy with it? Like, entertaining?
No, because all the trades happened on the weekend. There were some good names that got dealt, like Giroux, Giordano, like Ben Sherratt's, whatever. But Andrew Kopp, the Kakinen deal, Marc-Andre Fleury got moved.
Yeah,
right. Like those are some pretty decent names. Like Max Domi's, whatever. Elias Lindholm in there as well. Like Brandon Hagel's all right. I mean, he has 20 goals this year, sure. But all of them happen like spread out. Like the Leafs made a deal a month ago, it feels like, for Lyubushkin.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like all the deals just kept getting spread out all over the place. So in terms of trade deadline day, it was like a D-.
True.
But like compared to the last trade deadline we had, I don't know. I think this one was much worse. The one before that I know was bananas.
Yeah. This one
was very,
coming
very
off
bad.
of last year.
In terms of trade period, it was pretty good. I'd give it a B kind of thing. I mean, because I like so many different players in the league, and like I know all these depth players and I know these prospects. I'm aware of these prospects. That's where I'm like, oh, like every move is an interesting one to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how would you rate the day?
I thought it was a good day. I thought like you said, like I love how many players moved. It feels like a lot. I don't know. It's just because last year didn't seem like many players got moved because of COVID or whatever. But yeah, I thought it was fun, like seeing all these players get moved. It seems like a lot of teams came in late and got, like, specifically New York came in pretty late and made some significant moves. But
yeah, New York coming in late with those few.
Yeah, so
Vetrano kind of ran under the radar. Like,
yeah, that was like they almost got him for free. Essentially, that's like a cap dump from Florida because Florida's just too stacked. But yeah,
for a fourth, he's getting paid pretty good for a bottom six.
Yeah, he's a solid bottom six that didn't fit in Florida once they got Giroux, obviously. But yeah, it was a good pickup for them. But yeah.
There was another thing on my brain. Going back to the Leafs grade. I mean, I gave them an A because solely based on the trades. But like, Josh did make a good point. Like, it's like if you were to go in a room and drop an entire cake on the floor, and then clean it up, and then brag about how clean the room is. It's like, well, it was a mess before because you dropped an entire cake on the floor, right? So that's where I understand what he means. I mean, like the Nick Ritchie contract, the Peter Mrazek moves that you had to make there, right? Like that's where it made you had to give yourself some urgency to it. The deals itself in a vacuum were pretty good, I think.
Yeah.
But considering all the other noise around it, I can see his point there.
I could see that, but we also have to remember that we also got Michael Bunting, we got Andre Koch, we got David Kampf.
In terms of the trades itself, like I liked them. The mess around it, right? Yeah,
it was a unique situation that we were.
Also, we didn't outright say it, but the Leafs signing Hari Satari from the KHL, gold medal winning Finnish goaltender, and then him having to go through waivers.
It's like the weirdest.
And then him getting claimed on waivers today by Arizona.
Yeah.
That's just...
It's the oddest thing that maybe we would need to like get. I don't know. I guess it's to protect to protect teams from players like trying to get a loophole around a draft where you sign a guy from the KHL and they have to go through waivers first before you can get him. Maybe that's like what because no team has his rights.
I don't know.
Right? Maybe
I always love the story where Calgary tried to offer sheet for Ryan O'Reilly. But Ryan O'Reilly had played in the KHL because of the lockout. And so then they put in an offer sheet, but if Ryan O'Reilly were to have accepted and Colorado decided not to match, Ryan O'Reilly would have had to go through waivers to come through.
That's crazy.
And it would have been like 5 first-round picks.
Wow.
And they wouldn't have gotten him.
Yeah, because someone definitely would have claimed him. Yeah, obviously. That's hilarious.
That's where one thing Giordano said, he's like, I think the league would have stepped in there because that would have decimated the organization.
Yeah.
What an oversight there. Anywho.
I wonder if did they know that when they did it?
No, they obviously didn't.
Oh, my God. Okay, wow. That's
where they would have got screwed.
Mm-hmm.
But read the rule book. Anywho, let's get into, I want to talk a little bit about Manscaped before we finish off. Manscaped, the best men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. They offer precision engineering tools for your family jewels. I mean, we've talked about them several episodes in a row. We cannot say enough good things about the different products that we've received from Manscaped and how they just keep us fresh and trimmed and looking professional below the waist. Get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code RINKRAT. That is RINKRAT at manscaped.com at checkout. I mean, Jason, you've spoken volumes about Manscaped before.
I have a little anecdote. So on Sunday, I was actually out for a walk downtown with my girlfriend, and I wasn't on my phone. But when I did get the call for that the Leafs acquired Giordano, I just want to say how confident I felt in the fact that I was walking around all day. No sweat at all, nothing, no bushes to go through downstairs. I was just, you know what? When I was walking, I felt great. No sweat, ball deodorant. Get it. That's all I'm going to say. So
exactly.
Anyways.
20% off and free shipping with code RINKRAT, RINKRAT at manscaped.com. Anyways, trade deadline done. Now it's time to push for the playoffs.
Let's do it.
Let's see what this new roster build can bring us, right? Yeah. Any last closing remarks?
Follow,
subscribe.
YouTube.
Keep an eye on the
leave
YouTube.
us reviews. Tell us what you think about the trade deadline. Leave us a comment on a YouTube or tweet at us at Rink Rat Report. Whatever you guys want to do, we want to hear from you. What you think, how you think the Leafs did at the trade deadline. If you're worried about facing anyone in the playoffs, anything like that. But yeah,
exactly. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We will be back Thursday. We will be recording Wednesday after the game. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
All right, go Leafs, go.